Nice building.
Oh, thank you. I designed it myself. It's funny, I almost didn't notice that you were already back working for Skanda. You might have stayed undetected, but I was looking at some of our statistical outliers earlier this morning.
Statistical outlier. That's me.
Ideally, Eliza proxies would all perform the same, or at least quite similar to each other. In practice, there are some pretty big differences. Some people respond better to advice provided to them by people they perceive as having more authority. A deeper voice, a taller stature, a certain grace or beauty. Other proxies may be particularly empathetic. A face or a voice that makes you want to open up. There was one proxy whose sessions seemed particularly effective, so I decided to take a closer look. Evelyn Ishino Aubrey, contract proxy, Queen Anne office. That's a fun trick, to come back to your old company in secret. It's a rather dramatic drop in pay, isn't it? More than an order of magnitude.
I don't care about that.
But then why would you do it?
It's for research.
Research? So you're still interested in what you created? Let me get to the point. Why aren't you back here, working on the Eliza program?
Why isn't any of the old team back?
Good question. Let's see. Damien Seabrook. There's no helping that. Shame, though, for such a brilliant career to be cut so short. Soren Lloyd Rose, the former program manager, resigned just last week to found his own startup. Very cute. I'm not a psychoanalyst like he is, but I can tell his need to be a maverick, even as he benefits from the system, has been the primary destructive force in his life. He can be smart when he wants to, but just as often he gets the wrong ideas and refuses to let them go. His ego gets in the way. That's why I don't mind him leaving to pursue his little dream of being an entrepreneur, changing the world. He won't succeed, but I'm happy to let him think he has independence for now. If his direct nerve stimulation technology ends up taking off, I can always pull the cord and yank him back. Nora Plavnicki, senior engineer. She handled a lot of the front-end interface for Eliza, which is important, but less what I'm after. Plus, I doubt she's ideologically compatible with us anymore. You've spoken with her, you know how she is now. Seems to me she wants to rebel against everything and anything without stopping to consider whether it's truly good or bad. Not that it matters. I hope she's having fun playing with her electronic music toys. I know she would consider her work to be art, but, well, who am I to judge? And then there's you, Evelyn. You simply dropped away, gone for 3 years. Why?
People keep asking me that. I needed some time to myself.
Burnout isn't uncommon in our line of work. Still, 3 years is...
It could be longer. It could be forever.
Well, that's a shame though, isn't it? All that lost productivity. Who knows where we'd be if you'd stayed this whole time? You left before we began deploying, but you should know the analysts were very skeptical of us. They were saying there was nothing special about Eliza, that our competitors already had equivalent or better offerings. It's a good thing I don't listen to analysts. So far, the program's growth has exceeded every one of our targets, and we've outpaced the competition by a comfortably wide margin. We're a category definer. There's a quality to Eliza that makes it superior to all the other attempts to do something similar. You were part of the original team. Why don't you tell me what that quality is?
I'm not really sure what you're asking.
Well, let me return to my earlier question then. Why aren't you here to continue your work? You could be running the entire Eliza division if you wanted, but instead you came back undercover like a criminal returning to the scene of a crime. Is there something wrong with this company? You don't like us anymore? It's not me, is it?
No, not you.
You know what outstanding engineers have that mediocre ones don't? It's curiosity. Mediocre engineers tend to zero in on a single piece of the puzzle. They pursue technical breakthroughs, but ignore the larger picture. But you wanted to know how Eliza turned out, how it was working, didn't you? Even though you might have thought you wanted to put all of this behind you, you were still curious. You want to know everything, not just how it works or if it works, but its effect on people, on society. You have that instinct, the need to understand something complex from as many angles as possible. So please, do that. Learn what you came back here to learn. And once you have what you came for, consider returning to your old employer. You can make a real difference this time.
I'll consider it.
Good. One more thing. You should go down and see Eliza for yourself. Sarah will show you the way. This will get you through the doors. I've instructed the staff to treat you like an employee. Come and go as you like. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how much your creation has grown.
Eliza. Not the name I would have given you, if it were up to me.
It was a marketing decision. They thought there might be some recognition or resonance with the old version.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Oh, I should have introduced myself. Sorry about that. I'm Erland, currently the chief engineer here, but that's probably going to be temporary. I know who you are, of course. It's an honor to finally meet you, miss. As someone who works with this program every day, I've often felt close to the minds who originally designed it. So to be able to talk to you now, just as another person, it's an honor. Sorry, I already said that. I'm maybe a little overwhelmed.
No need to flatter me about it. Honestly, I don't know if Eliza reflects me at all anymore. I mean, look at all this. There's been a ton of development since I left. I doubt I would even recognize it as something I once worked on.
I'm not so sure about that. Most of the work we've done has been in the form of layers on top of the original system. The core modules are more or less the same as they've always been. Raina reminded me that you're still subject to our non-disclosure agreements, so let me share a little secret. None of us really has a great understanding of what's going on in there. I'm the third chief engineer Eliza's had in the 3 years since you left.
That's quite a lot of turnover.
Yeah, even for this industry. The way Rainer works is, he gives you 2 chances to do what you tell him you're going to do. After that...
There is no third chance. I know.
We get these people in who say understanding Eliza will be easy because they're familiar with the type of program it is. And Eliza defeats them in the end.
It's not the type of program they think it is.
Yeah. On that note, I do have some questions I'd like to ask you, if you have the time.
I'm not sure I'll be able to help.
Well, your deciding to work as a proxy has turned out to be an interesting test case. As I'm sure you know, different proxies lead to slightly different client outcomes, even when we control for other variables. We're studying the specific traits that lead to the best results: vocal qualities, proxy attitude and affect, responsiveness to the client, that sort of thing. One thing that's strange is that when you specifically serve as the proxy, clients report higher levels of satisfaction, pretty much across the board.
Really? The ratings I get don't seem that abnormal to me.
Yeah, that's because we normalize them per proxy, so nobody feels too bad. Just a little user experience trick.
Oh, I see.
Comparatively, though, you're basically the best proxy we've ever had. Any theories on why that might be the case?
It's possible Eliza and I think along similar lines.
I've considered that. At some level, perhaps unconsciously, your design for Eliza's reasoning was based on your own internal way of reasoning. We all put something of ourselves into what we make. No matter how neutral we try to be, it sneaks in. That could account for your unusual compatibility with each other.
Maybe. I certainly wasn't thinking of that when I designed it. I don't know if I like knowing this.
I'm certainly not blaming you for anything. It's just that true universality is one of our future development goals. It might be a problem if Eliza tends to like certain people more than others. Our aim is to provide quality care for everyone, regardless of any differentiating factors.
It's a good goal. I hope you can achieve it.
I think we can. Hopefully it's just a matter of uncovering the system's biases and correcting them. We'll keep tuning things as we go, and eventually we'll have something universal, maybe with some dynamic layers on top. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how it goes. There are more questions I want to ask about the initial research you were doing at the time Eliza was first created, but I'll save them for later. And I'd like to ask some questions about Damien too, if you're okay with that. I'll understand if that's a sensitive topic.
Not anymore. It's been a while.
Okay, great. I need to run to a meeting now with the team in Romania, but I really appreciate you taking the time.
The team in Romania.
Yeah, they handle most of the progression and reward system.
Isn't there a big time difference from here?
There is. Sometimes they stay up late to meet with us, and sometimes we get up early to meet with them. There are teams in Munich and Hyderabad too. As you can imagine, coordinating development is a challenge sometimes.
Good luck with that.
Thanks. I'll need it. I'll contact you later with additional questions, but no rush or anything. Thank you, Evelyn. If you don't mind me calling you by your first name.
Of course I don't mind.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. I'll be in touch.